Chosen one. Listen closely, because what you are about to hear is not for everyone. There comes a moment in your life when the truth you have carried quietly, patiently, and faithfully can no longer be denied. A moment when someone finally sees proof that you were telling the truth all along. A moment when they go above and beyond to make things right. This is the reward for your patience, your silence, and your unwavering trust in Allah. Today, we will uncover 7 powerful lessons that reveal why Allah allowed delays, trials, and misunderstandings in your life, and how He positions the right people at the right time to restore your honor and truth. Brace yourself, because this is more than validation. It is a divine confirmation that you are walking exactly where Allah wants you to be. Chosen one. Understand this deeply. Just because the world cannot see the truth right now does not mean it has been lost, nor does it mean that Allah has abandoned you. Every lie spoken against you, every whisper of doubt, every attempt to discredit or silence you is being meticulously recorded in the unseen, carefully preserved, until the moment Allah wills for it to surface. Allah does not need your defense, and He does not rely on human arguments or validation, because the preservation of truth is in His hands, and He alone determines the timing. What seems hidden, delayed, or buried is, in reality, growing in strength and clarity, awaiting the perfect moment when the reality of your integrity and faithfulness cannot be denied. The eyes that once overlooked you will see clearly, the hearts that once doubted will tremble, and the minds that twisted your words will be confronted with undeniable evidence, not by your effort, but by Allah's perfect plan. Your patience, your silence, your unwavering commitment to justice and sincerity, these are the invisible threads weaving a story that the world cannot erase. The truth you hold, the righteousness you embody, and the faith that has guided you through trials will not only be revealed, they will be exalted, honored, and recognized in ways that surpass human understanding. Allah preserves the truth, even when people bury it, because He is the best of planners, and no falsehood can ever outweigh the reality that He has destined to emerge at the perfect time. Trust in His timing, for the day is coming when every doubt, every accusation, and every injustice will be illuminated, and the world will witness what Allah has always known, that you were truthful, faithful, and unwavering all along. Chosen one. While you believed you were standing alone, misunderstood, unsupported, and unseen, Allah had already positioned eyes upon your journey, eyes that observed quietly, patiently, and without bias, because not all witnesses announce themselves, and not all allies reveal their role early. While people spoke loudly against you, someone was watching patterns instead of rumors, actions instead of accusations, consistency instead of chaos, and over time they began to notice something powerful. You never changed your character under pressure, you never contradicted yourself, you never needed to manipulate facts, and you never abandoned your principles even when doing so would have made life easier. Allah allowed this person to see what others ignored, the calm in your storms, the discipline in your silence, the sincerity in your obedience, until the truth became undeniable to them, not emotionally, but logically and spiritually. This watcher may have appeared distant, neutral, or even passive, but Allah was sharpening their perception, allowing them to connect dots others refused to see, because Allah often chooses witnesses who value truth over popularity. And when this person finally understood what truly happened, it was not a soft realization, it was a heavy one, filled with clarity, conviction, and responsibility. They realized you were not exaggerating, not lying, not playing the victim you were enduring. And now, because Allah placed proof in their hands and certainty in their heart, they are compelled to act, to correct, to restore, and to go above and beyond, because when Allah reveals truth to the right heart at the right time, silence turns into action and observation turns into justice. Stay humble, stay grounded, because Allah never leaves His chosen ones unseen. He simply reveals the watchers when the moment is ripe. Chosen one, never underestimate the power of your silence, for what you withheld in words was spoken loudly by your character, your actions, and your unwavering faith in Allah. While others rushed to defend themselves, manipulate narratives, or force validation from those who doubted, you chose patience, restraint, and trust in the one who sees all. Every false accusation, every whisper, every attempt to twist your story could not penetrate the fortress of your dignity, because you understood that truth does not need to be shouted. It needs only to be lived. Your silence became a mirror, reflecting the inconsistency of others, a shield protecting your integrity, and a beacon for those whose hearts were open to witness honesty without the interference of words. In the unseen, Allah was recording your perseverance, your discipline, and your refusal to compromise principles for the sake of acceptance. And when the moment of revelation comes, your silence, once mistaken for weakness, apathy, or submission, will stand as undeniable proof of your sincerity, wisdom, and divine alignment. Those who doubted, those who slandered, and those who misjudged will finally see that your patience and quiet endurance were not emptiness, but a powerful force that required no justification. You were not defending yourself because Allah was defending you, orchestrating the timing, the witnesses, and the circumstances so that your integrity could shine brighter than any falsehood ever could. Your silence spoke volumes to the hearts and minds that were ready to see, and in that revelation, it will be recognized as the strongest testimony of your truth, the loudest proclamation of your character, and the clearest sign that the chosen one never loses, because Allah's wisdom always prevails. Chosen one, understand this profoundly. The moment may seem as though the world misunderstands you, as though injustice surrounds you, and as though the truth you carry is invisible. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, is orchestrating the unveiling of reality through means that human minds often cannot perceive. Those who have spoken against you, spread lies, whispered doubts, and tried to distort your character are unwittingly constructing their own exposure with each word, each action, and each decision, because Allah does not need your defense. He only needs their own deeds to reveal the truth. Their lies, no matter how intricate or persistent, contain within them the very evidence of their falsehoods, because falsehood cannot stand without leaving traces that reflect its creator's intention, weakness, and impatience. Every time they attempt to twist facts, exaggerate situations, or manipulate others, they are planting the seeds of their own undoing, and Allah, the all-knowing, watches patiently as these seeds grow until the moment of revelation is perfect. You may not see the signs immediately, you may not know who is silently observing, and you may feel that justice is delayed, but Allah's timing is flawless. He often allows the very person who doubted, judged, or opposed you to become the instrument through which truth is recognized, because in the end, exposing falsehood requires credibility, awareness, and a heart that can perceive integrity when it sees it. The person who now witnesses your reality whether a family member, a friend, a colleague, or someone with influence over circumstances, will observe patterns, actions, and consistencies that align with honesty, patience, and unwavering faith, contrasting sharply against the contradictions, hypocrisies, and arrogance of those who slandered you. And when the weight of their own actions becomes undeniable, when the pieces align, when the clarity arrives, the truth you have carried silently, faithfully, and without compromise becomes an undeniable light piercing through the darkness of deception. This is why your restraint, your patience, your obedience, and your trust in Allah were never wasted. Every act of silence, every moment of dignified endurance, every refusal to retaliate prematurely has built an invisible fortress around your integrity, one that cannot be dismantled by rumor, lies, or human scheming. Allah exposes falsehood through the very hands and hearts of those who created it, often in ways so precise and so undeniable that it leaves no room for doubt, debate, or deflection. The revelation of truth is not merely vindication, it is a divine lesson, a demonstration to the world that the chosen ones are protected, that the faithful are honored, and that no lie, no matter how persistent or widely believed, can withstand the perfection of Allah's plan. Chosen one, remain steadfast, because when Allah allows the exposure to unfold, it will be more than a correction of narrative. It will be a manifestation of His justice, a testimony to your endurance, and a reminder to all that deception carries the seeds of its own destruction, and that the one who trusts Allah, preserves their dignity, and walks in righteousness will always see the unveiling of truth at the perfect time, in the perfect way, through the perfect heart that Allah has prepared to witness it. And in that revelation, the world will finally see what Allah has always known. Your patience was not weakness, your silence was not ignorance, your faith was not in vain, and your integrity was never hidden. It was simply waiting for the right moment to shine through the cracks of human perception, illuminated by Allah's wisdom, justice, and perfect timing. Chosen one, never doubt that the trials, the delays, the betrayals, and the misunderstandings you have endured are meaningless, for Allah's justice is not impulsive, rushed, or dictated by human emotion. It is precise, deliberate, and perfectly timed. While the world may measure justice by anger, revenge, or immediate reaction, Allah measures it by wisdom, clarity, and outcome, ensuring that every act of injustice, every word of slander, and every moment of deceit is returned in a way that cannot be ignored, distorted, or diminished. The person who wronged you, the one who doubted you, the ones who attempted to discredit your integrity, they may feel safe in their arrogance, thinking that silence, manipulation, or delay shields them from consequence. But Allah watches every detail, every intention, every hidden motive, and every secret action, recording it, preserving it, and calculating the perfect moment for truth to manifest and justice to arrive. You may not see it yet. You may feel overlooked, misunderstood, and forgotten. You may question why those who were meant to defend truth remained silent, but remember, Allah's system of justice is far beyond human understanding. It does not rely on haste, emotion, or temporary appearances. It relies on precision, timing, and divine orchestration. When the one who holds the power to restore truth finally observes the reality of your integrity, their actions will not be impulsive. They will be measured, deliberate, and purposeful, compelled not by anger, but by clarity, conviction, and undeniable evidence that exposes the lies, highlights your patience, and restores what was lost or tarnished by falsehood. Allah often allows human emotions to cloud judgment in the present, but He Himself ensures that the final verdict, the ultimate rectification, and the full restoration of honor are executed with flawless precision, leaving no room for doubt, debate, or misinterpretation. Your struggles, patience, and unwavering faith are the instruments through which Allah crafts this justice. For every silent endurance, every act of restraint, and every refusal to compromise principle adds weight to your case in the unseen. The world may have labeled you wrongly, misjudged you, and doubted you, but Allah's justice is not subject to popular opinion. It is subject to His knowledge, His timing, and His perfect plan. And when the proof reaches the eyes of the right person, when the reality becomes undeniable, their actions will not be fueled by fleeting anger or emotion. They will be guided by clarity, responsibility, and an overwhelming sense of purpose to correct what was wrong. This is why you have remained patient, silent, and obedient. Because every trial, every misunderstanding, and every delay is preparing the stage for justice to arrive exactly as it should, perfectly timed and precise, carrying weight that surpasses any human effort or interference. The restoration you will witness, the acknowledgement you will receive, and the vindication that comes will not be partial or incomplete. It will be complete, exact, and undeniable, demonstrating to all who witness it that Allah's system of justice is unlike any human system, operating beyond haste, emotion, or error. Chosen one. Hold firm in your faith, because your honor is protected, your truth is preserved, and your justice is approaching not as a reaction to emotion, but as the flawless execution of divine wisdom. When it comes, it will serve as a powerful reminder to the world that patience is not weakness, restraint is not passivity, and silence is not ignorance. It is preparation, it is strength, and it is the foundation for justice that arrives with divine precision. Trust in Allah's timing, trust in His calculation, and know that when He moves, the proof will be undeniable, the restoration will be complete, and those who once doubted, wronged, or misjudged, you will witness the perfect balance of justice executed in a way only Allah could orchestrate. The chosen one is never abandoned, never forgotten, and never left powerless. Every delay, every trial, and every moment of silence is shaping a perfect unveiling where justice is not only served but magnified, honored, and witnessed by all who are meant to see. Chosen one. Listen carefully, for what you have endured, what you have silently carried, and what you have patiently preserved in your heart is not hidden from Allah, nor is it without purpose. In fact, every moment of waiting, every trial, every unjust accusation, and every act of betrayal has been carefully recorded, safeguarded, and prepared for the perfect unveiling, the moment when your reward will arrive not in whispers, not in shadows, but publicly, unmistakably, and gloriously, so that the world may witness what Allah has always known, that you were steadfast, sincere, and unwavering in your truth. Public vindication is not a vanity for the ego, nor is it a display meant to boast or provoke envy. It is a divine confirmation, a visible manifestation of Allah's justice and wisdom, intended to correct what was distorted, restore what was stolen, and illuminate the integrity of the chosen one in a way that leaves no room for doubt, debate, or manipulation. While you remained patient, silent, and obedient, Allah was orchestrating the alignment of hearts, minds, and circumstances, ensuring that the right people, those whose perception is clear, whose judgment is fair, and whose authority carries weight, would witness the reality of your character, your perseverance, and your unwavering faith, and that through them the truth would be restored to its rightful place, beyond question or concealment. The public recognition you will receive is a reflection of Allah's promise to honor those who endure with patience and sincerity. It is not immediate because the preparation of hearts, the readiness of witnesses, and the perfect timing of events must align so that the vindication carries weight, meaning, and undeniable clarity. Those who misjudged you, doubted you, or attempted to undermine you will be confronted with irrefutable proof, not through your efforts, but through the careful unfolding of Allah's plan, which exposes lies, highlights consistency, and elevates truth above every falsehood. And in this public vindication, chosen one, you will see a transformation not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself, in the deepening of your faith, the strengthening of your patience, and the clarity of your purpose. You will understand that every trial you endured, every moment of silence, and every act of restraint was preparing the way for this moment of recognition, where your integrity becomes visible to the world, your patience is honored, and your obedience to Allah is glorified. The reward is not merely emotional satisfaction, it is a manifestation of divine justice, a sign for others who may be misunderstood or oppressed, and a beacon that illuminates the path for those who struggle in silence, reminding them that Allah sees, Allah knows, and Allah rewards in ways that human eyes cannot immediately comprehend. When the vindication arrives, it will not be partial or hesitant. It will be full, undeniable, and transformative, demonstrating the perfect balance of justice, mercy, and divine wisdom, and it will remind everyone that the chosen ones are never abandoned, never overlooked, and never powerless. It will reveal that patience is not weakness, silence is not ignorance, and enduring trials with faith is not in vain. Allah's plan for vindication is precise and intentional, orchestrating every detail so that when it unfolds, it carries authority, clarity, and impact that human efforts could never achieve alone. And in witnessing this truth, those who doubted you, wronged you, or misunderstood you will realize that the universe itself conspires with Allah's wisdom to honor the chosen ones, to restore what was taken, and to publicly elevate those who have walked with integrity, obedience, and trust in Him. Your reward, chosen one, is not hidden, not delayed without purpose, and not partial. It is complete, public, and divinely orchestrated, a testament to your endurance, a proof of your sincerity, and a beacon of Allah's flawless justice, demonstrating that the chosen one who remains steadfast, silent, and obedient will always see the vindication that aligns perfectly with Allah's timing, wisdom, and plan, leaving no room for human doubt, manipulation, or falsehood, and ensuring that the truth shines brightly, unshakable, and eternally honored. Chosen one, understand this with your entire heart. What was meant to harm you, to humiliate you, to silence your voice, or to betray your trust, Allah has already transformed into the very means of your elevation, your honor, and your closeness to Him. The betrayals you endured, the manipulations, the false accusations, the abandonment by those you loved or trusted, and the moments when the world seemed to conspire against you were never wasted, never random, and never beyond His control, because Allah's wisdom turns every intended setback into a divine setup, every wound into a source of strength, and every act of treachery into a pathway toward your destined elevation. When people turn against you, when they misjudge, mock, or attempt to diminish you, it is not only a test of your patience, faith, and restraint. It is a sacred mechanism through which Allah prepares you for greatness that cannot be attained without the fire of betrayal, without the trials that refine your character, and without the darkness that highlights your light. What they intended as humiliation becomes your proof of resilience. What they intended as defeat becomes the foundation of your rise. What they intended as sorrow becomes the precursor to your joy. Allah is the best of planners, and He understands that only those who endure betrayal with faith, dignity, and unwavering obedience can reach the heights that have been written for them long before the betrayal even occurred. Every moment you felt abandoned, every person who turned away, every hand that was withdrawn in deceit, Allah was using those very circumstances to position you in alignment with your destiny, preparing unseen allies, revealing hidden truths, and shaping the hearts of those who would ultimately bear witness to your truth. The world's betrayal, chosen one, is not the final word. It is the chapter that precedes the revelation, the struggle that precedes victory, and the challenge that precedes the honor you are about to inherit. When Allah turns betrayal into elevation, it is not just personal vindication, it is spiritual empowerment, divine recognition, and a testimony to everyone around you that the chosen one cannot be broken, cannot be silenced, and cannot be diminished by human schemes. What they meant for harm, Allah repurposes as blessing, proof, and leverage for your growth, so that your rise is unmistakable, undeniable, and awe-inspiring, and so that those who betrayed, deceived, or doubted you are confronted with the perfection of Allah's wisdom, seeing clearly that the chosen one was never truly harmed. Their trust in Allah, their patience, and their unwavering integrity have made them untouchable by worldly treachery. Betrayal, when filtered through the lens of divine wisdom, becomes the vehicle for your transformation, elevating you above mediocrity, above manipulation, and above human interference, ensuring that every act of deceit, every attempt to undermine your path, and every false accusation ultimately contributes to your ascension in ways that could never have occurred without these very challenges. And when this elevation is revealed, publicly or privately, it will carry the weight of undeniable truth, leaving all witnesses, those who supported, those who opposed, and those who observed silently, awestruck at how Allah transforms the intentions of human betrayal into the instruments of His chosen one's honor, authority, and spiritual ascendancy. Chosen one, know this: nothing you have suffered was in vain, nothing you endured was meaningless, and nothing that sought to break you has succeeded, because Allah does not merely protect His chosen ones from harm. He repurposes every strike against them, every betrayal, every act of injustice, and every false word into a ladder that elevates them, a shield that strengthens them, and a testimony that affirms their divine alignment, integrity, and destiny. Your rise is inevitable, your honor is secured, and your truth will be revealed in ways that surpass human understanding, because Allah does not just compensate the chosen ones, He glorifies them, elevates them, and positions them in a manner that leaves no question of His justice, no room for human doubt, and no possibility for falsehood to overshadow the divine truth. Betrayal, when filtered through Allah's hands, becomes the most powerful catalyst for elevation, transformation, and lasting impact. And the chosen one who trusts, obeys, and perseveres will witness firsthand how the treachery of man is transformed into the triumph of the servant of Allah, turning pain into power, deceit into demonstration of truth, and betrayal into a launchpad for honor that carries eternal significance. Chosen one, if you have listened carefully, understand this deeply. Every trial you faced, every betrayal you endured, every moment of silence, patience, and restraint was never wasted. Allah was shaping your path, preparing the perfect timing, positioning the right people, and orchestrating circumstances so that your truth could be revealed, your honor restored, and your reward multiplied in ways that surpass human comprehension. The proof you were seeking, the vindication you longed for, and the restoration you prayed for are already in motion, carried by hearts, actions, and moments that you cannot yet see. Remember, what the world meant to harm you, Allah has turned into a launchpad for your elevation. What others intended to bury, He has preserved. What they tried to distort, He has clarified. The chosen ones are never abandoned, never forgotten, and never defeated, not by human schemes, not by lies, and not by betrayal. Stand firm in faith, walk with patience, and trust in Allah's perfect plan, because the moment of recognition, vindication, and honor will arrive in a way so undeniable that those who doubted, opposed, or betrayed, you will witness what Allah has always known, that you were truthful, righteous, and destined for greatness all along. This is your reminder, your confirmation, and your awakening. Trust the process. Embrace the silence and prepare for the divine unveiling. For Allah is with you, He sees you, and He is turning every trial into your ultimate triumph.